Hello, my friends. So in the last video, I mentioned that I was going to be doing two more videos. And in this video, I am going to talk about the uh, new Stampin' Hot Foil System. And the reason I'm having this little conversation, like I said at the beginning of my last video, is I've been missing in action for quite a while. And my husband and I made the decision that I'm going to go full time doing Stampin' Up! Again. So there was just so much taking place between online exclusives and the new foil system and with the end of one catalog at the pre-order of the next catalog. I thought I would break this up into three different videos so that I could concentrate um, and share with you in each of those videos so that you don't think that I'm just jumping back into this and that I haven't actually been playing with things. I have been. I've been playing with all of the products. So let's get to it. Have you heard about the hot foil system? I had never used one before. I had no experience using, this hair is driving me crazy. Sorry. Um, I had never used the hot foil system before. I've seen it on cards, but because I only use Stampin' Up, nothing had been available to me before. So I was very excited about it, even before I knew what any of the dies looked like, before I knew what colors were gonna be available. I knew that Stampin' Up! Was gonna put together something that I was gonna love, and I knew ahead of time that it was gonna work with my cut and emboss machine that I already had. So this was a gimme. This was an easy choice for me to jump into and start um, using the hot foil system. Now, I don't want anyone, if you're against the hot foil or you're worried that I'm going to, because I'm so excited about it, you're worried that that's all I'm going to show. That's not going to be the case. I have customers that only stamp on single layers. I have customers that do multiple layers, and then I have customers that will do the hot foiling. So I will continue to do a broad range of um, craft styles or media styles in making my cards. And in some cases, I may even be able to show you a similar card, where I've done something very simple and I've done something a little bit more boosted, and then maybe something where I've added a little bit of foil. So you may in my upcoming videos, you may see some of that. And that's my plan anyway. So I'm super excited. This hair is just driving me, it's itching my face, is what it's doing. Okay, so the hot foil system, and yes, I'm not putting the camera down. I'll do that when I do demonstrations, but because I've been gone for so long, I want everyone to recognize and know who I am again. I want you to be able to recognize the voice and put it with the words, okay? So here I am. So here is, this is the hot foil base. And see, it's pretty thin. It goes through the cut and emboss machine. It comes with a silicone plate to protect your work surface. And then it also comes with another silicone plate where you can pick up your dies using this fancy magnetic picker-upper, and you can move it over to here so that it can cool off. And then also with the system comes a shim and a plate, and these go on top of your hot foiling process before you run it through the cut and emboss machine. So here are some of the things I've learned. When I first got it, I had, so you see my setup back here. So I have a plug-in behind one of these cubicles, and my intention was for my plugs to sit back there. Well, what that did is it made it so that my plug-in was on the wrong side of my craft table, and so the plug itself wasn't a problem, but you have to have your cut and emboss machine out. You have to have your Stampin', your hot foil system sitting out. You have to have a place to put your cooler dies. And in some cases, maybe you even want your paper cutter out. Well, I wasn't getting it in the right order. Something wasn't right. And I was starting to think I had made a mistake, that this was really not a system I wanted to include in my crafting. And then I moved all I did was move my plug into the other side of the room, and which was only a few feet, and it made all the difference in the world. All of a sudden, everything lined up perfectly in front of me, and I'm just so glad that I did that. So, if things feel clunky at first, don't give up. It probably is just something needs to switch. Something needs to move for you. So in my case, the plug is on the left-hand side of the um, hot plate, and that simple switching what direction I had my plug in going was it made all the difference in the world. I forgot what I was going to say. That's what I'm going to say now. Okay, so some of what I can show you. When the system first came out, these are the colors of foil that were available: silver, gold, and light pink. So I'm going to show you what I got in the first release and some of what I've made with that first release. And then I'm going to show you there's actually going to be another release September 1st. So there's more colors of foil, there's more stamps and dies and all kinds of stuff. I'll show you what I got from that. But first I'm going to start, because I went hot and heavy in the beginning, I'm going to show you all of that first. So those are the three colors of foil. I did not think I was going to like this light pink foil at all. And actually the last project that I did, I used this, and it made me giddy happy. It was just, it's so silly. But so for each of my customers that make a purchase with me of $35 or more every month, I send out a packet of three make and takes. And I like to put a thank you tag on the outside of the make and takes. And so this was the tag that I made. Let's see if I can get that just right. So I used the dots. Whoops, let's see, my fingers. Here we go. I use the dots, and then I use this. So it's it's hard to show. Anyway, it's metallic. It's on white. It's pink, and it's so cute. I love it. So anyway, so speaking of the Swiss Dots hot foil die, so this is it's a single plate. Now I'm going to pull it out and show it to you. You may have seen my note here. Die is in the case. I've got a flip file system, but I only have so much room in that flip file system. So I actually have a separate case that I keep all my dies in. Not all my dies, but some of my dies in. So that's why I made a notation on here. The feel of these it's very satiny. It's a different feel than the regular dies. So you can tell the difference just by feel. With that Swiss dot die, I've actually made a few things, but the only things that I have left are that tag I just showed you and this card. See, I used the Swiss dot on the back. And I love that you can see it through the vellum. And then I actually made the mat on the inside using the Swiss dot as well. So isn't that cute? So cute. I love it. Here's what it looks like on red, because my first thought was using it at Christmas time. So that one's silver on red. This one was silver on Highland Heather. So this was the second most exciting thing for me to get. And I'm just realizing, okay. So this is called Botanical Glow. And I'm sure you've probably already seen a ton of stuff online. I just want to show you what I have done. So there is a stamp and there is a hot foil die. There's no cutting dies. And these do not line up together. They're not meant to. So here's my very, very, very first attempt. You can see I've got some hot foiling or some foil overfoiling, I think they call that. So this is gold on, man, I'm getting a funny color too. Oh, there's a better color. Anyway, this is shaded spruce with gold foil. So that was my first one. So my second one was this one, and this is Silver on Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. Didn't that turn out pretty? So pretty. So this here is very special. This is a sentiment die, and these sentiments, it's stuck. There we go. So you can see, okay, I'm backwards here. These are the dies that cut them out, and on the other side are the sentiments. It's one die. So you actually hot foil all those sentiments at the same time, and then you cut them all out at the same time. And it's really interesting because they have, and you can feel the difference. So there's the satiny feel here, and here's your regular die here. But do you see these? Let's see if I can, yeah. So you see these little squares right here and on the other side of the, right there? Those line up with some squares that are on this die here on the end of this line and right here and here. And that lines everything up so that they cut out perfectly. So that was super cool and I love it. And yes, I do have a bunch of leftover dies, but I saw a really cute idea where somebody took something, they made like a box that was a little bit bigger than a matchbox, and they put little tabs in it, and it said what each of the sentiments were, and so they were able to store all their little sentiments to use in the future. So I think I'm going to make up some of these ahead of time, like gold on white, that kind of thing, and then just file them, and that will be very cool. Okay, a small sip. So when you are hot foiling, the texture of the paper has a difference, makes the difference in how your hot foil turns out. So for instance, in this card here, I hot foiled on two-tone cardstock. Two-tone cardstock is a smoother finish, and our milled cardstock is more of a textured finish, which also makes a really cool look. So I wanted to mention that. Next would be, so on that label I showed you, see the great big thank you here? That came from the Classic Greetings hot foil dies. And you may notice, you see some of these are in gold and others are in the black. So the ones that are in black are cutting dies. The ones that are in gold are hot foiling dies. Hot foiling dies do not cut. They're never intended to cut. So with having made this label, after I peeled it off the paper, I had this leftover foil, which I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. It says thank you. Okay. We now have a plate that's coming out on September 1st that will allow me to use this so that it's the opposite of what I just got through showing you. So the rest of this silver will adhere to the cardstock, and then I can still use the die to cut it out, and it'll have that mirror glass finish. So I'm really excited about that. I knew something was coming, but I have not been saving my foil. I am now. And this will be the first one that I do. So here's what the happy birthday looks like. And I saw where somebody had taken the thank you and cut it apart and said, they pieced it with the celebrate and did a you celebrate as two different tags. So that was kind of cute. It's really versatile. You just have to apply your thoughts to it. Okay, this one this was one of the ones that I'm so in love with, and I have not had the time to give it proper attention yet. This one is called Flourish in Frames. And I love bees, and I love bee art. And you can see by looking at here, you see the gold. Those are gold. Those are hot foil dies, and you see the black, those are cutting dies, okay? And then these are the coordinating stamps. And then to give you an idea of just how many dies that is, here is the hot foil dies, and here are the cutting dies. So a lot, there's a lot in that. So I have, this is all I've done so far, it's so embarrassing, but I've just hot foiled some gold on Very Vanilla, just to practice placing things, because this is one where I would want to put things in certain places on my card. And so I needed to practice how I put them on and off of the hot foil plate. And anyway, this one's just going to take a little bit more time, but I'm super excited about it. And I, like I said, I love bees and bee art. All right, let me set that down. So I decided to get a little bit creative, and because I saw online that people were they were using the hot foil on different surfaces. So for instance, somebody was hot foiling on vellum or on window sheets, or I've seen some on linen. I've seen some on all different kinds of cardstocks. Oh, I saw some where somebody was applying hot foil to foil sheets. So I decided to take the garden silhouette die, which is just one big die, and I hot foiled gold to vellum. And then I used my Stampin' Blends on the back to color the flowers. Now, these look a little blotchy because I started off with a pen that was a little bit too dry and had spaced out that I had new juicy pens. So I started with the dry pen and then went and found my juicy pen. And by the time I colored it, it turned out a little splotchy. People that have seen this card in person say that it doesn't bother them at all. It bothers me a lot. But and then here is one of those sentiments from this set here. So pretty cool. And then there's just a sample of it on, I used the pink on some Lost Lagoon. I maybe could have picked a better background, but again, I'm just testing things out. Then as far as, I have one more set here. This one is a wow set. This is called Butterfly Flight Hot Foil Dies. So you can see the gold is the hot foil, the rest are cutting dies. And then I want to show you, get it out. So here's the hot foil dies. So it hot foils all 5 at the same time. And then there is a coordinating die to cut out all 5 at the same time. So that is super, super nice. But wait, there's more. They included masks for coloring, adding color to the butterflies. So when you first foil them, they might look like that. And then as you apply each of these masks, so are you familiar with these? Let's see. So you can align them on top of your foiled, and use a blending brush and add color. And there's different parts that you can do that to. Here, so here it is with just the foil, and here it is with me having added some color. And then we can just use that one die and cut them all out at the same time. Here is one card that I have made using those. So I used Moonlit Flora DSP used the classic greetings for the happy birthday, and then used the, I wish I had all these names memorized, but I don't, Butterfly Flight Hot Foil Dies. So didn't that turn out pretty? And then on the inside, I just put one. So those are those. Now, let me show you what I haven't made any samples with the stuff I'm about to show you, with the things that I am about to show you. Let's see, I just about knocked something off here. Don't want to lose any of my dies. So the release that's coming September 1st is being referred to as Radiance Awaits. So the first release was Metallic Magic. The second one will be Radiance Awaits. Can't show you anything on the inside of the flyer, but I can show you the outside. And then I can show you, I'm so excited about this. We've got copper. We have silver opal. So it's, you see the multicolor in that? We have green. And we have red. So those are our new additions to foil colors. Then I picked up 4 items. So I mentioned a little bit ago about using this on a reverse hot foil plate. The reverse hot foil plate, there it is. It's just flat and, come on, here we go. So there's nothing to create an impression. This only will take what's left of your negative, I think that's right, your negative of your previous hot foil project, and you can apply that to cardstock and then turn it into something else. So that, I love anything that allows for the reduction of waste. Then, if you've followed me for any amount of time at all, you know I'm an absolute fool for buffalo print. And look at what they came out with. So I've got a buffalo check for my hot foil plate, and I am so excited about that. 2 more items. This one is Christmas sentiments. And like the other one that I showed you with the little sentiments, the die cuts everything out at the same time. But this has, so here's what the hot foil die looks like. And there's Merry Christmas, wishing you Christmas cheer, enjoy the magic of the season, holly jolly, Happy Christmas, 'tis the season, and special delivery. And then there is one die that cuts them all out at the same time. Pretty cool. And then there's one more that I think I'm gonna like a lot. So it's called Twinkling Tidings. Here's our stamp set. So it's trees. There's some stars in the background. There's some tree bases. There's some lights for the tree. See that? Then here are the dies. So again, the ones in gold, the ones in gold are your hot foil dies, and the rest are cutting dies. Can you see? Let's see if I can get it close enough. You know what? It's going to be easier if I show you the die. The arched one has a Christmas tree, very detailed. Christmas tree in the center, and then it's got a sentiment that wraps. Let's see if I can get myself oriented right here. That wraps it over the top of the arch. And that sentiment says, wishing you a beautiful Christmas. So anyway, I think that's super exciting. And then there are, as far as the hot foil dies go, there are 3 additional. And then all the rest are detail dies or silhouette cutout dies. So anyway, you will have the opportunity to see me demonstrating these, all of these. And like I said, I'm not only going to do hot foil, I am going to do a mix of all mediums. And I'm going to, wherever I can, I'm going to try to do a mix of showing you the different levels. I used to do that quite a bit. Okay, so that second release is September 1st. The other products um, are available in the store now. I'm not sure if any of them are sold out. I did not take a look. That has been like this since they were released. Um, I'm super excited about all of this. I'm super excited to share with you anything and everything that I learn about this process because it is a little bit different, and there's some different organizing that has to take place because there's a warm up period for your plate, and once the plate is hot and you've gone through the various stages, then you have to take action. So you want to make sure everything is kind of prepared ahead of time. Anyway, so when I do start doing the demonstrations, I'll be able to walk you through my process and see if that helps you at all with your process. And if you don't like my process or you have a better idea, I will be very glad for anyone to share that with me in comments. So thank you for your time. I'm so grateful to been able to share this new process with you, and I will see you later. Big hugs. Now I can't find I can't find the shut off button. Oh, there it is. Big hugs.